What's going on, everyone? Happy Boxing Day. It's Christmas is past. It went by so quick this year. Holy. Hopefully, everyone had a good holidays. And yeah, so we're going to continue on. We have 1 week left of 2021. So yeah, time to move on from the Christmas movies, though, and everything, and move on to standard films that I'm going to review. So today we're going to do a little oddball one from the early 2000s, and that's Hancock. Yeah, starring Will Smith and Charlize Theron. It was released by Columbia Pictures July 1st, 2008. It was written by Vincent Nigo and Vince Gilligan, produced by Akiva Goldsman, Michael Mann, and James Lester, and it was directed by Peter Berg, who is the guy behind a lot of other popular films like Lone Survivor, Mile 22, Patriots Day, and Battleship, to name a few. And this had a box office earnings of $629.4 million. Apparently, the reason why they're not doing a sequel to it is because the producers and a lot of the film creators were butting heads and stuff. And this took about 12 years to put out, so I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to do a sequel. It'd take another 12 more years. Now, the sequel would have came out last year. So yeah, well yeah. If you're not familiar with Hancock, Will Smith plays a drunk low life who has superpowers, and he thinks he's the only one in the world who has it. And he can fly. He's pretty much impenetrable, and he tries to stop crime, but is really messy at it. So as the story progresses, though, he runs into a PR guy who gets stuck on the train tracks, and he saves them even though he manages to derail the whole train and cause more damage. He saves them and is played by what's his name? One sec. He's played by Jason Bateman, and yeah, he takes them into his house and treats him to dinner and everything like that. He gets Hancock to fly him home and stuff. Treats him to dinner, meet his family and everything, and then they start working on his public image, which is everything from Hancock going to jail to, yeah, a new suit and everything, and try to be more engaged in public relations and stuff, more helpful to the communities and stuff. So as he's working on that, because in the beginning of the film, anyways, Hancock's not really get seen nicely in it, which I think is more like how people would perceive superheroes these days, is more of a nuisance than actually helping, because most people probably be a little more clumsy at it and stuff. And but yeah, and then in the process of this, Hancock realizes that there's another superhero like him that he meets, or he thinks does is, and he's trying to figure out how are they similar, why, and yeah, how to move forward and stuff. It's a pretty good, humbling film. I liked it. It's a good action comedy. There's a lot of good, funny jokes in it and stuff, and the action sequence still hold up. Some of the CG is a little spotty, but it's still a fun action flick. It's yeah, a lot of good stuff. A lot of it was riding on like the star power of Will Smith and everything, but still, I really enjoyed this film. I like the premise and how much realism they try to put into it, and how they try to see how people perceive superheroes at the time. And this was like the dawn of the superhero films. This was before the MCU. Like Iron Man, I think, came out shortly after this, and yeah, it started getting the ball rolling. But yeah, it was a pretty good film. There's not much really to complain about. The acting's good. The story's pretty interesting and stuff. It's a little bit odd because there's like 12 rewrites, so there's like it's a little clumsy in some spots, but for the most part, it is a fun film, action packed, and definitely has a good emotional impact, especially in the second half. And yeah, I enjoyed it. It's a good popcorn flick, and definitely overall a good film. I just, for the rating reasons and stuff, I'm not gonna give this a perfect score, because yeah, there's some plot holes in it and stuff like that, and it's not perfect. It still doesn't hold up, but it's still a decent film from the early 2000s, and there's not much really to complain about besides like the CG is starting to look a little dated, and the story has a couple plot holes. But other than that, this is still a really good action comedy, and yeah, there's a lot of good amusing scenes in it, including the sex scene, which is hilarious. And yeah, definitely one. If you haven't seen this yet, it's actually on Netflix right now, and you should definitely check it out. It's a good non like non-branded superhero film basically from Sony. So yeah, and Columbia. So yeah, definitely check it out if you haven't seen it. I'm gonna give Hancock a 4 out of 5. It is a good movie, but it's not a perfect movie. But it is still really enjoyable, and I hope people don't forget about it because it should still be around, and hopefully they actually do come out with like another one or even a TV show or something of it because it's pretty underrated, I think. So yeah, there's a trail link down below if you forgot about this or never heard of it. It's linked down below. Also, make sure you check out my Instagram. It's always linked down below where I post clips of films I'm reviewing in the future on my story. I usually have the film title and hashtag, the subgenre of the film and a hashtag so you're aware of it. Also, make sure you follow where you can follow me on Letterbox at Derek P Reviews. That's where I post my first star rating right after watching the film. So follow me on one of those two platforms to stay in the loop with this channel. Like this video, share some more people aware of it. Comment your opinions of the film down below. Did you like as much as I did? Or do you have different opinions? I'd love to hear your thoughts on it down below. Yeah, and if you have any films that you want to hear my opinions on in the future, comment those down below too. I'll try my best to get to them as soon as I can, and if I can find them. And I'll watch any film at all, so whatever, it doesn't matter what genre. And make sure you subscribe, because hopefully we can find good and unique oddball films that people aren't talking about together. So hopefully, yeah, this one might be interesting to you. Definitely check it out. It's actually pretty good and underrated, I think. So that's it for this one, though. Watch out for all those clumsy superheroes out there, and I guess I'll see you all in the next review. So till then, cheers.